Shalom family, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little different. I had the opportunity to sit down, so I wanted to show you all what's in my homeschool box. I also wanted to update you all on how the homeschool year is going and to discuss if I'm using a curriculum, if I'm not using a curriculum. So if you're interested in this type of video, please keep watching. Okay, so let's get right into it. What I wanted to start off with is whether or not I am using a curriculum this year. So my initial goal was to use a curriculum just to help keep me on track with what I need to be teaching my kids, to make sure that I'm not veering off, but then adding my own thing into the curriculum. But that didn't happen. So I decided to, instead of stressing over a particular curriculum, I decided to take this first year and kind of freestyle, do my own thing, see what works for my child, see what does not work for my child, learn their learning style and stuff like that. So that's what I did. So what I did is I combined a box of materials. I collected these materials over the course of time, and if it worked for my child, I used it. If it didn't, I'm saving it in case it does work later on, or if it works for another child. So I have a big tote box here with homeschool on the front. So literally it's just a tote full of all the homeschool materials that I use. And I do plan on trying to do a curriculum the next homeschool year. I think that will help me be less anxious. I felt like every day I had something prepared, but sometimes I would be like, oh no, what are we gonna do today? Am I covering all the subjects? Am I covering what needs to be covered before my daughter enters kindergarten? I had a lot going through my head, and I feel like having a curriculum to kind of guide me would be best. I am a more systematic person, so I feel like next school year I am going to try to do a curriculum. So if you all know of any good curriculums to follow, please post them in the comments below. Shoot me an email. I need it bad. So definitely try to do that if you can. So let's get right into what's in my homeschool box. So the first thing I want to show you all is a simple whiteboard. This thing comes in handy so much, and I didn't know how effective this would be until I started using it, finding out different ideas on how to use this. But typically what most people do is they just use it to write maybe words on the board. Some people even have really big whiteboards and they use that, but I feel like a smaller one, a handheld one, helps the kids interact with it more. So that's what I use when it comes to drawing out sight words. I used to have a list of cards for sight, like flashcards for sight words, but I literally lost them. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do to help give her a visual of the sight word? So now what I do is I'll write two here, and this is how she learns. She gets excited for the next word. It keeps her interacting with me, and sometimes I'll let her draw on the board as well. So a simple whiteboard comes in handy. Even my 2-year-old enjoys it, so yes, that's what I have here. Next, what I do with my whiteboard is I have some magnet letters that I got off of Amazon. These come in handy so much. I use these in many different ways. So for example, with the whiteboard, we will take some of the words. For an example, I'm gonna spell out a word really quick, just to kind of show you how I use this. All right, so for spelling, this actually helped my daughter read. So what we did is we take the words, I take all of the capitalized letters out, and I form a word, and we go over letter sounds. So I'll ask her, what sound does M make? And she'll do the sound for M. she'll do the sound for A, the sound for D, and eventually I ask her to blend them together. So this helps with letter recognition. It helps with letter sounds. It also helps with blending the letters together. So I'll go M, A, D, and she'll sound it out. And then I'll say blend it together quickly, and she'll go mad. And that's been helping her read. And now she'll pick different words around the house and she'll sound the letters out, just because we've been practicing this for so long. So she's gonna be fully reading shortly, hopefully. And my sister Jada from the Mama Matrix channel really kind of helped me with how to get my child reading soon. So I suggest you check out her channel for that. Another thing that I use with the magnet letters is my son. We have the standard alphabet chart. I'm pretty sure you all have these charts. Most homeschool moms have these charts. And I've been helping him with letter recognition by having him pick a letter, for example, M again, and I'll ask him to find M on the chart, and I'll lay it down flat, and he'll put the M over the M, and that helps him recognize what the letters are. This has helped him so much, and he looks forward to this, and he's really patient when it comes down to finding the letters. Me and my daughter both kind of help excite him when it comes down to that, and he has a longer attention span than my daughter, surprisingly. So yeah, sorry if you all hear the kids in the background. But yeah, so this really helps with letter recognition for my 2-year-old. Next, I have games. I have games in my homeschool box. Kind of sounds weird, but it helps. I noticed off of, somebody's social media, they had the fishing game. And I was like, let me see if I can find this fishing game at Walmart. Didn't find it at Walmart, but I did find this at my local Target. And it was like $6. So this helps my son. You'll see some of the fishes are missing. This helped my son with recognizing his colors. It teaches him patience. It teaches my daughter and my son how to work together. And I don't know if you all ever saw the chart that I had, but I did have a chart. I had a chart of one of my previous videos. I had a color chart, and I would ask him to place the colors of the fishes with the colors on the chart. And that helped him learn his colors quickly. So he knows his colors now versus the beginning of the year, he did not. So this is one game that I use pretty often. Another game that I want to use, I haven't used it yet, but that is Sorry. I wanted to do Sorry with them. They're not quite ready for it yet, but I'm going to keep this for when it's time. We're going to use this for a hands-on learning activity. After that, in my homeschool box, I have lots of workbooks. I have lots and lots of workbooks, and we don't use all of them, but I feel like it's good to have a variety of workbooks to see what works for your child and what does not work for your child. So my daughter, she is a very hands-on learner. She's an auditory learner as well, and she's very systematic when it comes to learning. She likes to do the same thing every single day. She looks forward to doing that every day. She's very much like myself. She likes a routine. She likes a plan. And if we miss something, she's like, wait, hold up, what's going on? So, yeah. So I have lots of workbooks. I have a cut and paste workbook. I have a learn to read workbook, ages 5 through 7. This one she hasn't started on yet, but I'm saving this for next year. So this is an example of a book that I don't use. This one is really good for my son. It starts, the age range is starting at 2. And this just helps him, you can see, I'll open it up here. You put their name, and then it gives different lines that they can start following on the dotted line so they can learn how to write. So this really helps him. Surprisingly, I didn't think he was going to be ready for it, but he is. He looks forward to this book every day. Another book that I use pretty often is this one, Pre-K Math Practice. My daughter loves this book, and we're almost all the way through it. And this just gives different math practice skills, whether it be finding the missing number, matching It has addition and subtraction in there as well. It's not as advanced as my other math book I have. I have another math book here for her. Let's see if I can find it. I can't find it at the moment. It's somewhere in here. But I have another math book, and it's a little bit more advanced, so we're gonna move on to that book after we're done with this one. I have a thinking skills book. This book my daughter loves. It just gives different scenarios to get them critically thinking. For an example, it says, circle the picture that completes the sentence, and she'll go through and circle what goes with each one. For an example, it says, bunny is to carrot as dog is to, and she circled bone. So this kind of gets them critically thinking. And then this one I picked up from Target. I think I showed you all this in my first video. At the Target dollar spot. This one's also at the Target dollar spot. And this is just letter sounds. It's simply just tracing letters and having them pick out what starts with the letter, that particular letter for that day. And she usually does a couple pages a day. We've already gotten through this book, but it really came in handy for just $1. And this one, she started it, but I don't think she's quite ready for it yet. This is grades K through 1, and this just gets us learning about the world. Now this one, she did when we first started. We haven't gotten through it yet, but it just teaches about the continents, the oceans. It teaches her about the different countries, and I like this because I can go over the 12 tribes with this book. So this is definitely one that came in handy. They also have an app that goes with it, okay? I also have a couple other writing books. She does these as well, but when it becomes a little repetitive, if we're already doing letters, I don't like to keep switching from book to book. I like to kind of complete one and then move on to the next. And also in my homeschool box, I have lots and lots of flashcards. I have addition flashcards. I think I showed this in one of my videos. We haven't used this much. We've been using the chart. We have a chart and we do addition with this. So we take like a little marble or a magnet, and I ask her what is 1 plus 1. And I have her stay on the 1. I say, what's 1 plus 1? She'll move over to 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then that's how we also learn how to count by 2. So we'll do 2, 4, 6, and we'll go from there. We learn how to count by tens and stuff like that. I try to use what we have instead of continuing to buy a bunch of stuff. So this is how we use this chart. I also have number flashcards. I have a variety of number flashcards that work for my son. I don't always use the same ones. He gets bored with them, so I try to switch them around. He's a very visual person, so if he sees, I have to use flashcards for him. He's auditory and he's visual. So I love to use flashcards with him, and he learns a lot by song. So we do look at a lot of different YouTube videos that focus on like letter sounds. We are going over Spanish. He loves Spanish, so right now with Spanish, we're going over numbers, body parts, colors, shapes, learning how to introduce ourselves and stuff like that. So he loves Spanish. My daughter likes Spanish, but I noticed that he finds a really big interest in that. So I definitely want to try to do something to where someone else can teach him Spanish, because clearly I don't speak Spanish, but I'm learning as well. But other than that, I have lots of books. I like to keep books in my homeschool box as well, so they can always go in and grab them and read them when I need to maybe focus on the baby, or I'm focusing on Eden and I need Mishael to go read, or I'm focusing on Mishael and I need Eden to go read. I love to keep books in there, and they really enjoy having a variety of books. I also have the little reader books. These books, let's see if I can find them. These have really helped my daughter learn how to read. I can find them. Let's see if I can find them. I believe I showed them in one of my videos. It's basically, they're small red books, and they teach them how to match the picture with the sentence. And believe me, those books go a long way. And I'm gonna pause because I gotta find them. So these are called First Little Readers, and I got these off of Amazon, and they are the Scholastic brand. So there's a variety. I think there's over maybe 50 books that come in a pack, and they all vary. So I think this is level A, and they have just different topics. Like for one is almost spring. This is a good one to go over. One is sweet treats. So some of them they like to read more than others, but it basically shows the picture and it says sun is shining. It is almost spring. Snow is melting. It is almost spring. So it'll have a sentence that keeps repeating itself, and they'll recognize that with the picture. And that would allow them to match what the sentence says with the picture. And when I tell you the Amazon reviews say these books work, and they do. So I highly recommend you all invest in these books. You can pass these down to each child. So yes, these definitely come in handy. And I have a lot of other things. I mean, I keep construction paper in my homeschool box, markers, colored pencils. I have the really thick pencils that I keep in here for the kids. We have puzzle letter recognition, to where they can put the puzzle pieces together to learn the letters. We have coloring books. We have lots of different coloring books in here. And we also have, let's see here, we have arts and crafts in our homeschool box as well. So I keep glue, I keep scissors, I keep, like I said, construction papers, wiggly eyes, because you have to do hands-on activities with kids. They will always remember that stuff. You can keep track of that and have that as to keep for yourself, to see how they've progressed over time. So I recommend that you get some type of homeschool area to keep your items, but I like to just keep it in a box so that I don't have stuff scattered everywhere. And then honestly, when you keep stuff out, the kids can grab it and it just, you lose it and it's like, okay, where did this go? So I was like, let me get a tote box, keep it in one area. They know, they get excited when school is about to start. They're like, can we go to the box? Can we go to the box? So maybe having something of your for yourself to keep all of your homeschool items in one area will help you be less chaotic. Okay, so that's pretty much all, you all. I do want to go over what we're focusing on in regards to each subject. So for math right now, we're focusing on addition and subtraction. We're focusing on identifying the letters for my son. Reading in English, we're focusing on letter sounds, sight words, vowels, blending, phonics. I have my notes here, so you'll look at that's why I'm looking down. We're also focusing on history. So right now we're focusing on the feast days. We're working on the order of the feast days. And currently at this point, we're going over Passover, focusing on the 10 plagues. And that is about it. That's about it for right now. So we're almost done. We're planning to end in May. So I'm hoping that everything I showed you will help you. And like I said, if you have any ideas for a homeschool curriculum for my following homeschool year, please post them below. I really need all the help I can get. And thank you all for watching. Shalom.